Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're putting aside all the sensationalism, the sci-fi stuff and the fear-mongering, to decode the immediate reality of physical AI and labor parity. We're stepping into an era where machine capabilities are crossing over with the economics of human work in a way we've literally never seen before. But to really grasp this structural shift, we need hard evidence, not hype. We need to see exactly where the line is being drawn today.
Okay, let's just dive right in. I want you to let this number sink in for a second. $25 an hour. Now that's not some optimistic projection for the year 2035. That is the contracted rate for a Figure 03 robot working right now at a BMW Spartanburg manufacturing line. It's exactly matching the hourly cost of the human working right beside it. We're not talking about a pilot program hidden away in a back room somewhere. This is a live commercial assembly line where a humanoid machine has actually hit dollar-for-dollar economic parity with human labor.
So, Part 1. The number that moved the line. Balance sheets, not demos, because we have officially moved past the era of flashy tech demos and entered a reality where robotics is just a rational, calculated line item for major corporations.
Which brings us to Section 2, cheaper than a salary, the raw arithmetic. To understand why this crossover is happening today, like right now, we have to strip away the emotion and look strictly at the math.
Let's look at the hardware side of the equation. As of July 2025, the purchase price for a Unitree R1 humanoid robot sits at a pretty staggering $5,900. We're not talking about a multi-million-dollar prototype locked in a university lab anymore. We're talking about consumer car pricing for a walking, functioning humanoid frame. That is a price point that fundamentally rewrites how businesses calculate capital expenditure. When you put these figures on a scale, the shift in economic gravity is just undeniable. Think about pitting a fully loaded U.S. manufacturing worker who earns roughly $156,000 a year when you aggressively factor in things like benefits, insurance, paid time off, and training against that one-time $5,900 hardware cost. It creates a massive delta. You're basically trading an ongoing, escalating operating expense for a single, fixed piece of capital.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this. The outright purchase of a sophisticated machine now equals roughly 8% of a single worker's annual salary. 8%! For a CFO, that ratio is wild. It means the return on investment can be measured in weeks, not decades. Heck, if the machine breaks after a year, the economic case still totally holds up. You simply buy another one, and you're still vastly under the cost of human labor.
Section 3. It's already running, leaving the lab. This isn't some sci-fi forecast for the next decade. This hardware is out there, operating on live, unforgiving commercial floors today.
For instance, on a live Chinese electronics line right now, an AgiBot is achieving a 99.9% success rate while building 310 units per hour. Let me repeat that, a 99.9% success rate. That's commercial-grade reliability. Supply chain managers, they crave predictability above all else, right? And a machine performing a highly structured task with that level of relentless consistency directly competes with and often entirely exceeds human physical endurance.
And keep in mind, they're joining a massive existing workforce. 542,000 traditional industrial robots were installed globally in 2024 alone. That effectively doubled the density of robots in the workforce in just 7 years. So the infrastructure for automated labor is already deeply entrenched. These facilities, they already have the safety parameters, the high-voltage power routing, the maintenance teams. The humanoids are just seamlessly sliding into the next phase of this evolution.
For highly structured, repetitive tasks, companies like AgiBot and Agility have confidently moved into mass deployment. We're looking at 15,000 AgiBot units slated to be built by mid-2026. Meanwhile, Agility's Digit has already logged over 65,000 commercial hours at logistics giants like Amazon and GXO. This is vital to understand. 65,000 hours isn't a pilot test. That is a veteran workforce generating massive amounts of real-world operational data every single day.
So, Section 4. The brain, not the body. Why now? Well, the truth is, the metal chassis was actually the easy part. The true catalyst for this sudden acceleration is entirely about the intelligence layer.
As NVIDIA's CEO Jensen declared at CES 2026, the ChatGPT moment for physical AI is here. See, historically, if a box was shifted just 2 inches to the left, a traditional robot would blindly grasp at empty air and fail. But the breakthrough giving robots general perception, the ability to look in a messy room, contextualize what they're seeing, and physically interact with it dynamically, has finally arrived.
Think about what this means on the factory floor.
Imagine having over 2,000 teraflops of processing power dedicated just to understanding how to pick up a box. This intelligence is driven by foundation models like NVIDIA GR00T, which are powered by specialized chips like Jetson Thor. These digital brains act as the central nervous system for the physical workforce, allowing them to learn, adapt, and make spatial decisions in real time, rather than just blindly following hard-coded coordinates.
Section 5. The projected cost curve. Visualizing the future. Now, with the brain and body finally united, financial institutions are mapping out some aggressive trajectories. However, we must explicitly boundary the hype here and recognize these as projections, not certainties.
Bank of America projects the manufacturing cost for these humanoids, the raw bill of materials, to drop from roughly $35,000 in 2025 to under $17,000 by 2030. Just take a moment to look at the steepness of that drop. If this cost curve actually holds true, the financial barrier to entry for small and medium-sized businesses will completely evaporate. That means your local, independent warehouse could soon afford the exact same automated labor tech as Amazon.
Morgan Stanley goes even further, projecting a multi-trillion-dollar total addressable market for humanoid robots. But as an analytical audience, we've got to remain disciplined here. Wall Street loves a massive TAM, but factory floors run on the unforgiving laws of physics. These are analyst projections and financial models. The reality on the ground still has strict limitations that sweeping market forecasts tend to gloss over.
Which leads us to Section 6, where the line now sits, the honest boundary. We really have to cut through the vendor hype. Remember when Tesla promised 10,000 Optimus units for 2025, but built fewer than 500? Elon Musk himself admitted they do no useful work yet, and this capability gap explains exactly why. While robots can grasp simple, uniform objects with predictable geometry at near-perfect 100% reliability, their success rate completely crashes to around 30% the moment the objects become complex, irregular, or softly packaged. The real world is full of shifting weight and tricky shadows. Simply put, right now, robots hate messy.
The ultimate boundary here is human dexterity. Seriously, look at your own hand for a second. It's a biological engineering marvel, containing about 17,000 tactile receptions. Think about the subconscious micro-adjustments your fingers make when picking up a paper cup, just to know if it's full of hot coffee or completely empty. That level of sensory feedback and immediate adjustment is something roboticists openly admit machines won't match for well over a decade.
Furthermore, we need to address the reality of total cost of ownership. That $25 an hour headline we talked about, it often hides some vital realities. First, integration requires intensive software and facility mapping. You don't just flip a switch and turn them on. Second, maintenance is heavy, requiring mechanical servicing every 200 to 500 hours. And third, there's mandatory downtime. Beyond charging pauses, there's teleoperation, meaning when the robot gets confused, an expensive human operator sitting in a control room has to manually drive it out of trouble like a video game.
Now, what about the human cost? Regarding all those fears of a looming labor apocalypse, the data actually tells a much more nuanced story. The World Economic Forum projects a net positive balance globally by 2030. They forecast 170 million new jobs generated, alongside 92 million displaced. Historically, automation changes the nature of work rather than eliminating it entirely. Think about it like ATMs. They didn't destroy bank teller jobs, they just shifted them to relationship management.
We also have to face the demographic reality of aging workforces. With over 600,000 unfilled manufacturing jobs in the U.S. alone right now, these machines are primarily stepping in to fill critical, persistent labor gaps. They're performing the highly structured, physically demanding tasks that humans already don't want to do, long before they ever actively displace human workers from the jobs they need. So here's the takeaway. For highly structured, high-volume work, the machine is undeniably cheaper today. It is a rational, calculated line item on a corporate balance sheet. But cheaper covers exactly one kind of work. The honest boundary holds firm everywhere else, which leads us to a crucial final question. What happens next, when we inevitably cross that boundary and the work demands not just a pair of hands, but actual human judgment? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I'll leave you to think on that one.